Hello and welcome back to another Inside Star Citizen review. That's right, we are back. It is back. We are beginning to question what was going on over at Cloud Imperium. We wanted this show to come back on ASAP. And if you're here for the fun, but you're also here to learn what there is to learn about Star Citizen, one of our favorite projects of all time. And I'm glad to have you back here. Let's see, tonight is about how will the new EVA mechanics and updates to the personal interaction system dramatically change the way you interact and traverse the verse in Alpha 3.23. Okay, so I'm basically going to tell us what's going on in 3.23. Let's see what Jared has to say.
It's a new year, and with every new year comes the refresh after holiday break, the review of process and personnel alike, and the renewed sense of determination to make each year of Star Citizen's development even better than the last. And in 2024, that includes the return of so many Squadron 42 developers to our persistent universe fold, all of which are working to add their features and advancements to the already stellar work of the SC devs we all know and love. And so
notice how he said Squadron 42 devs coming back to the PU, as if some of the work that had been done on Squadron 42 might be done for certain developers. That's interesting news. That sounds really interesting to me. Little tidbit there I picked up.
To get this multi-month marathon started, let's throw it now to Chris, Alexis, Gennady, Ines, and Kian of the eponymously named Team Kian to show us a bit of what they're working on for Alpha 323.
Jared looks like he's losing some weight.
So we showed a lot of interesting things in CitizenCon, and a lot of which is from Kian's team. We're going to be bringing a lot of that to you guys soon this year. And we're going to be talking about the designs of those features and also how we went about making them. You're going to be doing a lot of these for the next 4 months, aren't you?
Yeah.
I feel things progressing, man. I feel things going to be very fast this year.
The old EVA system had its purpose, but it had a lot of problems.
So the old EVA was not
he does
quite controllable.
The entry and exit into EVA not being very smooth, a lot of face planting.
Yep. A lot of that. Boink. Boo.
Changing orientation was a problem. You never really knew which kind of way your body was
Lots
in.
of this.
The upright pose was a little bit awkward for traversing spaces as well. You couldn't really fit into narrow spaces, and it was a bit restrictive for transitioning around space stations and things like that, especially interior spaces.
Right.
In addition to that,
grid.
the sort of volume you take in order to rotate and look around is huge. It's basically rotating your body every time you just look to the right, look up, etc.
Same here, Seamus. Good to see you, Seamus.
Terrible, but it doesn't look great, and it doesn't feel wonderful if you're in a confined space, because again, you're clipping against everything.
Just don't really think it fit with what we want to do in our game.
It's not a bad system. It got us to where we are today.
For real fingers.
But we want to make improvements, and there are other features and systems that we need to tie into EVA, which brings us to what's coming this year.
Things are going to get much smoother.
So there's multiple aspects of the new EVA system that makes it a lot more versatile. The first is that when you start looking around, it's your camera and your head that's moving. Your body,
cooler.
Most of the time, doesn't. So if I'm heading in a certain direction and I want to see what's behind me, I can just look behind me, but I see my body. I get that instant frame of reference as to where I am, where my body is. And
so much better.
It just grounds the experience.
So with the new system, we put the player into a more prone pose, kind of a superhero pose, makes them much smaller.
It's a smart move because it takes fun. It might not be the most realistic. I know there's some out there, they're going to say, oh, that's not realistic at all. But I'm going to tell you what it does bring. It brings about a fun factor. When you're developing games, there's always the balance between the realism and the fun. And personally, I'm all down for this, man. This is fun. This is fun. Like, I'd rather have my character looking like this than I would just like, you know what I mean? So be it. May I be judged by that comment? Judge me. Come judge me. At the end of the day, though, fun sells video games, man. At the end of the day, fun keeps people coming back. Fun,
Into a more prone pose, kind of a superhero pose. Makes them a much smaller silhouette when traversing around
That'd be great.
areas.
Can you show us how the EVA works? Show us how the EVA works.
So now
Yes.
EVA works like this. You move
I agree, Orson.
forward and you
That as well, Eric.
You just
That
fly.
as well, dude. And also fun.
When you turn, when you rotate.
and when you rotate, you're like,
The footprint of the character doesn't start to change. So if I want to look around in this tight-knit space, I'm not suddenly spinning around and knocking all the things off the shelves.
Yeah.
I'm just looking
Look at
around,
these
which
cinematics you can
means
make
that the
backspace.
metrics we can
Check
support for that
this out,
feature
man.
suddenly become much more
Your
versatile.
machinimas
You
are
can
gonna
get on
be
an event
like
rather than
A+,
not being able to fit into a
man.
room.
Look at that, dude. Look at this.
It's also a lot prettier to watch someone who's got a weapon
this
or
is
just looking
perfect.
around,
Look at that range of
rotating around
movement.
as they're doing so.
I love that
From the
rotation
outside, it looks better.
animation.
From the
That
player
is
experience,
wonderful.
it just really
so
helps
much
out.
better. No
You know
disruptions
where you
going
are and
from
what you're doing.
space to space. You see how smooth that was going into that.
We've smoothed out transitions entering and exiting EVA.
Oh,
So no
hold on. We need to go back here. We need to go back. We got a slow-mo time. We got to slow-mo this down here. This is just too good. This is too good.
We've smoothed out transitions entering and exiting EVA. So
That was so good, man. That's so good. 8 out of 10. That's so much better. You're gonna hear so many people say, "Well, that's not realistic," and blah blah blah. Man, shh. You know the haters.
no more face planting unless you really try.
in new EVA, you can
That's
just
awesome.
press forward and you fly.
That's a solid
If you
8.5 out of 10
release the
right there
button,
for
you
me.
keep flying while you still
Kick
can
flying. You're
rotate
using
and
your feet
look
to
around.
kick off the space.
Yeah, we've allowed it so you can turn on the spot without altering your silhouette, which is quite nice for interior traversal again. Feels a lot more natural, a lot more responsive to the player.
Yeah, we're going like this. Great.
This is a great way to come back for the first episode
The
of
features
Inside
we're
Star
going to be bringing
Citizen.
out,
This I love. We
at
saw
some
this
point
at
later
Citizen
soon.
Con.
We've got
First off, this I absolutely loved. We saw this, some of this footage at Citizen Con. They're going to show us more. But just the range of motion that you get and the animations you get in that free flight is like phenomenal. Also, the transitions looked so smooth. That was gameplay, by the way, for people that are like, "Oh, that's never going to happen." That's actually game footage, so we know that it's able to happen. You know, obviously we got to worry about meshing, and you know, you're going to have instances where some grids, you know, hopefully they can make it so the transition is smooth, and we don't know. I'm thinking that can happen regardless of server meshing.
zero-G traversal, and that's you attaching to a surface. In the previous system,
But when we get
again,
into
because the character was
physics
upright the
grids,
entire time,
you have to
it just
also
wouldn't have
question
gelled well with that
server
feature. You're effectively in prone, but attached to a surface.
Mushing? Yes,
And then you're moving along that surface or gliding along it if you sprint. That just transitions really.
Oh my God! Look at him go! Look at him go!
Next time it's gonna be glass.
Dude, I got to tell Devin that you're going to be buying his birthday present for him coming up in February. Thank you, St. Eric. I appreciate you, man. 10 community sub gifts like a boss. Thank you so much, St. Eric. That's why he's St. Eric, dude. That's why he's St. Eric.
Nicely from the pose we have for zero-G traversal to the EVA pose. It's almost exactly the same. It's also very similar to prone. So, for example, if you were in an event and all of a sudden the gravity went out, you could crawl along it in zero-G traversal or move around it in EVA without changing what your body's doing, which just means that it's a far more seamless experience. There's much less chance of anything going wrong as a result of that as well.
So much better. Oh my God.
We've also introduced the EVA fuel and momentum. So once you start traveling forwards in one direction, you'll keep going in that direction until you press another input or the space brake to stop. This becomes especially important when we introduce EVA fuel.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll have a finite amount of fuel, and just that little boost could be enough just to get you
Put
back
your
to
fingers for
the
a
safety of a space station or your ship. sets us up nicely for zero-G push-pull, which comes further down the line.
So in terms of what that means for user player and what you're going to be doing with this feature, it allows us to use EVA to get you guys going from your ship to another ship, from your ship to an abandoned space station. You can fly inside ships and space stations without gravity now, without fear of bashing your head and your legs all over the place. It really makes it a much more smooth and easy to use system. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's just more fun. I enjoy just flying in and out of test levels between ships, etc. With the old system, it's a bit slow and lackluster. With this, I feel like I'm a superhero while I'm going around in space.
Yeah, good. They sped it up too. Yeah, they sped it up.
So yeah, the new EVA feature, as you guys see it today, it's hopefully going to look even better once it gets into your hands. And yeah, we're really excited to see what you guys think of it.
Yes, Bad Ash. Good to see you here, man.
All right, let's talk about pipe pits.
Well, it was better when it was piss pit.
It used to be piss pit?
Yeah, player interaction system. Yeah.
So let's talk about the new pipe pit.
Gotta stop saying.
They're getting this from value added gameplay. They're getting this from
I was
Badge.
too late to
Hold on. See how they're stealing everything, man. It's value added gameplay. Now we're talking about pie piss. All good things come from the banana fountain. Just 1 second while I bask in my own fountain of bananas.
Banana fountain.
Now we're dealing with pie piss. Thank you, Seamus. Thank you. Now we're dealing with pie piss. You see, now we're dealing with pie piss. It's some people like that.
change it. I like to say PIS because, yep, sounds better.
Oh, she's so cute. She's so embarrassed. This girl is the coolest. They need to keep having her on. What is her name? She was at CitizenCon. She was so cute and adorable and bashful, man. They need to keep having this girl on. I love her. She's so embarrassed.
Try to avoid HR complaints.
So the burning question is, what is pie piss? Well, it's everything you interact with around you and how you go about doing that.
It's not always easy to select the interaction that you're looking for.
You have to drag your cursor then to make your selection. And it's not really very fast or intuitive.
And in general, it got in the way of you doing what you wanted. It added an extra layer of menuing that wasn't necessary.
But there's some things that we wanted to solve, and that's what the new system does.
So with the new personal interaction experience, we have multiple ways of improving how you interact with the items around you.
Hold on, I haven't seen Futz in a while. I gotta give him his horn, man. Give him his semi-horn. What's up, Futz? Good seeing you here. Welcome home, bro. Oh my God, man. I'm already having so much fun. Thanks for being here tonight with me. If you're live, if you're on YouTube, try and get here live with everyone. We have such a good time. It's like, it's rejuvenation, man. I already feel like 15 years younger.
So we've released little parts of the new system in the past with the pit wheel and the quick select wheels and the control hints. This is by far the biggest iteration on it and will totally change how you interact with things in the world. We've introduced the new interaction prompt, which will show you which item you will interact with by just tapping F, and will also show you the type of interaction that will be performed.
So the new system, the players don't have to go into interaction mode to interact with the objects.
We've updated that to have an on-screen icon. It gives you the input that you need to press, and it gives you an idea of what you're actually going to do when you press it. So that ambiguity of, am I in range, is the item you're going to interact with gone. You've got an immediate bit of feedback that tells you what you're going to interact with, when you press to interact with it, and what you'll do when you interact with it.
So if you're looking at a plushie on the desk, it'll show an F above it with grab, and you can just pick that item up with that.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And if you want the details, Ines is going to hook you up with the details on the UI aspect of things. It's exactly what I have been preaching about for the past, I don't know, year and a half now. So that's good. They made that much easier. Yeah, I feel that, bro. What's up, Tech? Tech, it is so good seeing you. Welcome home. I hope you're having a good night. You're having a better one now that you're here, aren't you, buddy? I'm glad to see you, buddy. Well, these are major improvements, man. This is major fun. This is gameplay improvements times 1,000 right now. Just these little tweaks are huge in terms of the fun factor, which keeps people coming back. I'm so in favor of this. I'm loving this first episode back in 2024. It feels like everything's set in motion. It's feeling positive. It's feeling good. I like the editing. Everything so far, it's good.
We've also introduced the personal interaction wheel.
Yep, quality of life.
Which, instead of the list view, will now give us a nice radio menu that lets you select exactly what you want to do in a much more intuitive manner.
And with the wheel, it's much more seamless, and it feels more like there's no
it's like an added layer. Yes. I love that little bubble pop up. Did you see that? Did you see the action when they're pushing this? This is wonderful.
It's much more seamless, and it feels more like
it feels like it's
there's
added in with your visor.
Barriers
it's just
between you and the interactions.
If you need it, it's there, and boom. Hold on a second. Yeah. Give us more details, but don't inundate us with details on that aspect of the UI. So that was really nice. That was a nice transition from just your standard F pickup to like, okay, what are we looking at here? And then they give you like a little buffet of options, nothing too crazy, and it just popped in and popped out. That's perfect UI animation. That's what I want to see. I don't want to get like bogged down to the point where it's taken away from the game. That can definitely happen.
The screen, so you can't miss. You're always selecting something.
I do too, Aether. I'm loving this already.
99% of the time, what you want to interact with. Don't sneeze while you're pressing the button. It's much more intuitive. It's much easier to use.
Same here, backspace.
And that option, that problem.
Yeah. This type of design that we're seeing, right, has a finish to it. It's a polish. And backspace is right. I've been doing this a long time. I've been covering game development for a long time. Backspace brings up a great comment here that reminds me to preach this to you guys so you guys understand that this level that we're seeing here usually comes towards the end of the dev cycles, okay? So the fact that we're seeing the functionality as well, also very positive. Like, very, very positive. From the get-go. Even listening to some of the devs from Squadron 42 are now coming over to the PU, also very positive. If you're hearing people telling you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't. What's up, Explodo? Good to see you here, man.
I mentioned where if you're trying to interact with what's in your hand, that's gone.
And thank you for that 40
now
months.
the new system just opens the wheel and you select what you want to do with what's in your hand. It just works.
So this new interaction wheel plays really nicely with default item actions, which has been in development for a while, but it needed the whole system to come together as one before we released it.
If, for example, you're out mining gems after blowing up rocks with your multi-tool, you might want to pick the gem up and look at it. Or you might want to just store it directly into your backpack.
It's looking much more finished.
The option to customize and say, want to look down at that piece of gem?
Let's give him the Explodo button. Explodo just walked in here, and I did not do the Explodo button. Thank you so much. Thank you, Seamus. We got to. There's some OG Knights here. The OG Knights, and we're going to be developing more sound effect buttons for many people, by the way, that have stuck around. This is what I promise you, that you will have a place here at home that if you've been here for a while, you get your own sound effect button. And I've got like five new sound effect buttons. I'm going to try and get them done tonight, or some of them done tonight. St. Eric, definitely. The fact that St. Eric isn't on this board right now, it is something I have to shame myself for. Hold on one second. Let me just shame myself that Eric's not even on here at this point.
Shame.
And we have many others.
Shame.
Don't worry. We're going to get St. Eric on there and many, many others that deserve buttons and sound effects to be memorialized on DG360.
Show me the prompt. It's always going to show store, or it's always going to show carry or inspect. It's up to you. And you can change that on the fly and it'll remember it. And it just allows you to customize your own experience.
Now the player doesn't have to go to interaction mode to make a selection. You can just simply tap to trigger the behavior.
The new system is entirely data-driven, so from our perspective, it makes it really easy to customize from a designer's point of view. And again, because we've set up that data, you can then customize it yourself.
It allows you to customize the primary and the secondary interaction.
Pick up on the go, better for PvP,
so you can change what
wars.
just tapping F while looking at something does.
Yep.
If the player changes the default item on that item.
You know what game first implemented this that I really got into the action was Halo. There weren't many games at the time. It was let me tell you how old I am. Xbox just came out. Halo came with the Xbox, and it was like there wasn't a game in FPS mode on a console at that particular point in time that you could just like run and gun. And Halo was like, boom, one of the very first where you could just like pick it up, throw it to the side, pick up another one. I'll tell you, one of the first ones to do it was Doom and Wolfenstein. Like, you want to go way back, we'll talk about Doom and Wolfenstein. But one that really had an effect on me where I felt the animations and the connection to my environment was Halo. And so, like, that's what I'm, you know, like, on the surface, what we're getting here is like a Halo grab and gun. And then if we want the details with it, with the UI, Ines hooks us up with the detail, and I gotta say, like, I'm loving everything I'm seeing so far.
The selection will be saved across all the items that match that state and the item category.
It picks up on what you want to do with different item types. So if you want to cuddle a plushie, you can set that to be your default inspect. If you want to be picking up golden memons and storing them directly whilst you're harvesting, you can set store to be your default, and then that's the way it'll stay. If you want to equip ammo as soon as you come across it to your suit, you can set that as your default item action. So it's something that, with a little bit of interaction from yourself, means that you can customize and tweak your own play experience and really rough out the edges in terms of your minute-to-minute gameplay and how you interact with things.
We've also introduced a new scoring system for interaction points that allows us to better select which interaction point is of interest to the player. This is based on distance from the player, angle to the cursor or center screen, and whether it's on screen or not. It also allows us to interact with things that aren't quite on screen, so if there's a trolley handle just below you, you'll be able to tap F and you should just grab it. This makes it a lot more intuitive. Something on the ground can have a different default action to something in your hand. This is all set up and customized through the interaction wheel.
And then obviously the player now doesn't have to like go into interaction mode, drag the cursor, make the selection. You can just simply tap or double tap to trigger the secondary action, and that should.
That's what I'm talking about. Great timing on that as well, Malcolm. Great timing on that. I felt that dance. Felt it to my core.
To be a much easier experience for the player.
We'll forget about what was there before. It'll feel like it has always belonged.
Did you smell the sausage
You won't
fingers?
be able to live without it, really.
That's just some of the things our team has been working on over the last few months and bringing to SE Alpha 323.
We're looking at bringing you lots more stuff from our work on
Irish
Squad
sausage
42
related. You can barely
into
see
Star
it.
Citizen. We're really excited to get that into your hands to improve your overall player experience, the way you travel through the verse. Yeah, when you get your hands on it, please let us know what you think. We're really excited to find out.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that EVA looks sick.
It does.
Sure, usually I'm a bit more eloquent than that, but damn, I'm allowed to mark out sometimes. That the way we interact with the persistent universe around us is getting a whole lot more intuitive and customizable.
Everything's
And that
so
this
upgraded
new
looking.
EVA, new default item actions, and new personal interaction system are just the beginning of what this spring's Alpha 323 has to offer. Yes, Virginia, it's gonna be a big one. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Be sure you check out tomorrow's Star Citizen Live, where we dive into even more Alpha 323
that on our
goodness.
morning show,
and we'll
Mom.
see you all here next week.
Listen, they're doing a hell of a job. They came back strong. They came back real strong on this one. Are there bloopers or something? What's going on here? Hold on. I like this. They do these at the end now.
da 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 da.